Sick. Does that mean we're live?
I will send you the link. Let's go.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, we're live. I just sent it to you right now.
Nice. Yeah, I can see my screen. Oh, that's crazy. There's such a delay. Like I can hear myself talking from a couple minutes ago. Cool. Let's see. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you just fine. Yeah,
Yo, all right, cool. I just have the stream muted. Yo, that's cool. That's really cool. Thanks for getting all that set up. That was a little bit of a God, I had to jump through some hoops, huh?
yeah. Sorry, no worries. Yeah, we're live. So I'm just tweeting about it right now. So yeah, I'll kick it off to you, Jake, to give a quick intro about yourself, and I'll give a quick intro of myself, and we'll go from there.
Cool. All right. Well, hey, folks, and maybe folks watching this after the fact. My name is Jake. I'm a software developer. Been working in the AI space for the past few years now. Primarily focused on Canvas-based user experiences and really just exploring what new UX AI is going to enable and what UX you can, allows you to collaborate best with AI. So, obviously, tools like Cursor have kind of changed the game for writing code. And so today, Dami and I are going to be checking out Cursor and Zed and just going through some of the AI dev tools that we use in our day-to-day work. Yeah, that's it for me. Over to you, Dami.
Yeah, thank you, Jake. Yes, my name is Dami. I'm a designer, also a founder, and I have started building a lot more apps with AI tools like Cursor and V0 over the last few months. And super excited to work with Jake on this live stream to show you guys what we're building or what we've been building separately, yeah, as individual creators who love AI and dev tools.
Yeah, that sounds good. Where do you want to start, Dami? I could jump into some of the Cursor stuff. Do you want to start with V0? What are you feeling?
Yeah, why don't we start with V0 and then what's your workflow with V0 or do you prefer Cursor? Like, what's your preference?
I use V0 a little bit. So for folks that don't know, V0 is by Vercel, and it's a way to create um, essentially like just front end. They're really shifting to just being a whole front end developer. So my little dummy app over here for this and for some other testing is just like a Kanban board app. And somewhere in here I have it's so distracting. I have the stream up on the other side and seeing the video, it's like delayed a little bit. Um, but here's a quick example. I haven't integrated this code yet, but it kind of has a similar style to Claude artifacts where you got chat going on the left side and then links out to specific components. This is all React components and works with the ChadCN UI. That's the way to pronounce that. Um, yeah, I mean, have you used the new chat at all? The chat interface and like the CLI tool? I haven't had the chance to explore that yet, but it looks really slick.
Yeah, I use the new chat. There are some things I prefer about the old chat, and I think for the CLI stuff, yeah, like you should give it a shot. Let's see how that works.
Yeah, let me okay, I'm on the main here. All right, so this is cursor, and then yeah, let's just throw that in there and see what happens. Install some packages. Hopefully, it doesn't break any imports.
Which project are you adding this to?
This is just the. It's like a really shitty Kanban app. I do want to make a better like personal Kanban, like a better Trello. I love Linear. If you've used Linear at all,
Oh yeah.
and Linear app, see if it'll pull up their website. Um, there's some personal stuff. Like this is what I'm working on for actual Carrot, and it's just like a really good, like a better Jira, better Trello, and I would love that for like some personal stuff, like just my personal day to day life. So just been using that as like a little test case for some of the AI tools.
Uh,
Let's see. So did it install the components correctly?
I'm building something in Cursor right now as you're
Yeah.
as you're talking about linear. I'm using the composer feature to see if it can build me something. It's pretty interesting. The composer feature is really cool. But let me not go on a tangent. So you install the V0 component.
Yeah. And let's start a separate. Um, this is just a standard like Next.js project. And we have now created this Kanban board and that. And I'm just going to not do anything special and say import these. And we should be able to reference the Kanban board. And I could probably reference my other routes and see boards.
Did,
And I haven't used Composer at all yet, which is kind of crazy. I just haven't had the time.
is this so? This is the command, not command K. This is command K. Okay,
Yeah.
but
Yep.
it looks better now. Mine updated today too, as well. Not today, but I opened Cursor today for the first time in a little while. But it looks like the design of it just got a lot better. The new updates.
I think, yeah, I feel like, and especially chat, like they've cleaned up a bunch of stuff, like even these little, the page.tsx current file down here, like that's new. This whole sidebar is steadily improving. And I think there is still some UX love that um, Cursor could improve on. I spent some time like really diving into Zed further today, and I was actually impressed with how much Cursor does have that Zed doesn't have, which is interesting for Zed being a like newcomer to the AI based I or the IDE with AI integrated, and they're just missing some of the stuff that Cursor's had out of the box for a while. And it's interesting to be like, yeah, I'm surprised. I'm surprised that they've not directly recreated some of the functionality.
Would love to dive into that in a bit too.
Yeah, let's see. And I actually haven't even looked at the code for what this is. So this looks good, and it gave me some instructions for installing drag and drop. So I probably need to do all that too. And so yeah, here in Command K, I just gave it a bunch of I referenced the files and then routes so it knows where the data is coming from as well, and it's pulling in like fetching the lists and creating the list.
Oh wow.
Let's see. So this is 100. We're on demo. This is 100% gonna error out because I don't have this stuff imported yet. But let's just see what happens.
You're right. Failed to compile.
Yeah. Oh, interesting. Did it override my button? I hope not. Oh, it made a separate button. Um,
Oh, I guess like question for you, like how would you give AI more context here to sort of fix these issues, or what do you think about that?
um, this one is this isn't like a this is me. This is an issue of me getting into or using V0 in this way for the first time on this project. I actually have the button card and inputs already, so um,
Okay.
where? Oh, huh. No, I don't. That's funny. I definitely accidentally nuked part of. Oh no, it's right here. Okay. Um, I just installed it at a weird location, so I'm just gonna actually delete these and see. Yeah, change these imports because I already have these CN components added, just in a different location. So right there, what I would do these days, and oh, I don't want to delete the Kanban board though. No.
You're really risking it here. You haven't. Did you do any Git? Did you? I was just joking with someone about this earlier. It would be nice if Cursor had Git built in automatically somehow. I don't know how that would work.
Yeah. I definitely should have been more mindful of that. All right, that's what we want. Now we can delete the rest of these, and
You are
now
so
all those
fast.
imports.
Sorry, go ahead. Sorry, you're really
Cool.
super fast.
Cool. Now let's see what we get. And now we got to fix some imports over here. So really, what I would do differently if we weren't on a stream right now is I would take a look at like what the default for these V0 imports are, and it's these at components. And for whatever reason, my project is set up where the TS config or the the TS config has this path set up slightly differently, and I would change this so that way these at references like match up with how I have the project set up. And I would almost something I find really interesting with the new AI tools is that it makes almost more sense to adjust your project to how the like what the LLMs or what the tools naturally want to output. So I would change this to match that up better, and that way all these components coming out of V0 would work better. Sorry, let me fix these imports real quick, and then we'll do some app installation. Or not app installation, some library installation. And then it's nice. I didn't realize that V0 will include all of this, like the imports and stuff that you need, which is really cool. That and can do that too. Oops. All right. We refresh this. Let's see if the drag and drop will work. All right. So we can create cards, and this isn't quite linked up to the route correctly, I think. But this drag and drop isn't working for some reason. And that's probably because I'm missing another file from this, which let's see. That's interesting. Be funny to send to the Vercel folks. Anyways, this is close to working, but something's going on with the drag and drop where that doesn't work. But we've taken the component and pulled it in here. So if I fix drag and drop and then had this link up with the data a little bit better, then this would be looking good. And so what I would do next here is we don't need the Kanban, but we do want this demo page to work with our existing lists and cards. So I would just highlight the whole thing. I do this a lot, especially if the file is smaller. And I would just start pulling in the routes that I know that I need. So I need the cards route and I need the lists route. And then I would say this page is located at ID use next, what is it? Next, not route, nav or whatever. And then get the corresponding lists from that board and the cards with that board. So this is a pretty typical workflow for me where I just will if I'd call this like lazy mode editing almost, where I just selected the whole file and I'm just going to try and dump content into it. And for me personally, I like to use transcription here. So I use Super Whisper and pull this up, and I would say, oh, I gotta turn Super Whisper back on and say, okay, this page is almost correct, but what we need to do is grab the data out of the route. So we want to get the lists and we want to get the cards based on the board that we're on. So this page is located at the ID route for a board. So you can grab the ID out of the URL, and then we'll use that to get the appropriate lists and then populate the Kanban board with those lists.
I guess question for you, Jake. Why do you prefer? Oh, sorry. Let me not.
No, go for it.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, I was making sure your transcription finished. Yeah. Why do you why do you prefer using the transcription?
I really like it because you can my I posted this today. You responded to it. My theory of why people think that like Claude gets worse is that your quality of instructions goes down as you get used to the model and how well they perform and how strong they are. And voice is a good way to get around that because you get lazy because typing is annoying. But if you can just talk to it, you can get a lot more content and instructions out, and you can just like talk, and your verbal filler or anything like just adds more time for the model to think. And like so like I talked for a couple seconds and I got this whole paragraph of instructions versus when I was typing for like a not a full minute but typing for a while and I barely got out the initial instructions. Like over the course of a day I'm saving myself you know I don't know how many words per day of typing, so it's good for the fingers. It's easier to get more high quality instructions to the model, and that's how I get so much value out of Cursor in general is by like your prompts have to be good. It's like garbage in, garbage out, and it's easier to get good prompts in if you're using voice, in my opinion.
I think you've convinced me, so I might start. I might install this. I've seen other people use it recently too, and I'm like, I think I didn't know what app it was, but yeah, I'm
Yeah,
gonna install it.
I'm a big fan. Oh, one more. We'll see if we can get this. I'm going to try one more prompt and see if we can get this working. So it did edit it, and now the Kanban board is looking for the lists, but that's not a prop on this Kanban board. So here I would probably reference the file that is trying to use it, and maybe the list as well, or the list route. And then I would go back into dictation mode and say, okay, can you please update this Kanban board? Everything in general is correct, but we want to be able to display the lists correctly, and the list should be passed in as a prop. So edit this whole component and add in a prop for the list to be passed in. I provided context above with what those lists should look like. You can refer to the demo page to see how it gets passed in.
Right.
And we'll just let that run and see if it works. And if it doesn't, then we can stop going down this path. Um, oh, it's funny. I tried to import some types that don't exist. This Kanban list.
Are you using Claude?
Yeah, this is Sonnet 3.5.
Oh, okay, cool.
All right, so that's going to break because that's not a real type. Um, and so make a type. Let's just see. I mean, I have types set up already. Let's see if we can fix it based on that here. So I want to talk a bit about types later because I think that's where a ton of the value is. So I have types set up in this project very lightly. I have a, it's funny, oh, here there. And I use I use Zod for creating a schema, which is really nice for data validation, and then also generating like Swagger docs off of it. And then you can just infer the types off of that. So I try to just have one spot that I define the types for a whole project. And then when we're working in here, it's trying to add a card and set these lists, but we're getting a bunch of TypeScript errors. And we can do Command K here, and then we can go into code, and I can actually grab that list type, and I should be able to say, correct this, set lists based off of this type. And I think that might work. We'll see.
You and I use curses.
Yeah, so we just
Go ahead. You go. You go. Yeah.
no go for it.
No, you go for it. You go.
I was just gonna say like I think TypeScript is like a crazy good language in the AI era for these types of reasons. Like JavaScript is so prevalent in general, like it works so nicely with React and Bun. And when you can set up types like that and then just reference the types, like you just gotta like it's more for the AI. It's as much for the AI as it is for me.
That's a good point, though. I think like you would definitely use cursor differently than me because you know how to code properly. I'm a designer by trade, so I just like I'll show you after. But yeah, like I think it's interesting seeing how you work. But I never knew you could reference specific code lines in Command K. That's really cool. I guess you can do it on the chat too as well, maybe. But that's really cool.
Yeah, you can do it from everywhere.
Damn. Damn. Okay.
So I'm not quite getting this to work, and I don't have the focus to also debug it. But that's like a couple more steps, and then we'd be able to integrate the existing list structure into this component from V0. And that's how we can go from having like a UI created by V0, and then, yeah, if you have everything typed nicely, I probably should have just provided the types to this prompt originally, and it would have spit out something that's more, set up for it from the beginning.
That's interesting. Yeah, I guess like what I'm getting from that is like when you're using V0 in an existing project, it'd be nice to give it some context about that project as well somehow.
Yeah. So I wonder if we actually did. Let me go back to types here and say, I'll just give it my project. Please change the Kanban board to receive lists and cards as props using the types that I provided below, and then just update the Kanban board itself and just display the provided data. I don't know, something like that. And then if we give it all the types, like let's see what it comes up with. It probably should have circled back here instead of trying to solve this in cursor, because this like fixing the actual component here might have been easier in V0.
Oh, interesting. There's all these new workflows. I swear, like it's. Hey, I'm learning from you right now, but it's like it's pretty cool. It's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, this is a whole new component. So we can probably just copy this and I'll just swap in here and see if it works and fix these again. See, this is where I'd be like, oh, I wish I would have just gone back and changed how the project was structured a little bit, because that would be easier. than having to fix this every time. And then we want to do app and then lib and then types. All right, let's see if that works. I don't know if it will or not. Dang, no good. But I don't know where the error is. It could be here, it could be there. Kanban board. All right, why? Oh, that's because it wants it's a default export. And then I did tell it that we were going to be at the ID for a board. So we do need to change where this page is. And then I hope those just fix themselves. And then we grab one of these board IDs. Let's see. Oh, hey, Connor. Workflow for databases. Well, feel free to drop more comments or more questions about that specifically, but I do want to talk about that in a second.
Amazing. I think I saw something today relating to Superbase actually too. Connor,
Yeah, a
what's
big.
so go ahead. You got it. Yeah.
Sorry, no, you go for it, Dami.
No, you go for it. Don't worry.
Um, I was just say I love Supabase, and I'm a big fan of Prisma as well for an ORM. I know other folks like Drizzle, but I have a kind of a Prisma centric workflow for working with databases that I think is kind of nice that we can jump into if you want to next.
You go for it, Jake. Connor, what's your Twitter account if you're still there?
Cool. All right. Well, this almost worked. Not quite there, but we'll switch gears a little bit, and maybe I'll revisit that. So get switch gears here. So what something that I really like and I think is valuable in the like this AI coding era is um, the more self-documenting your code is, like the more context you can provide to the AI, like as you go. And so I think things like generating your API docs off of your schemas is very useful. So give a quick overview of kind of how this workflow works. Oh, I didn't check in those changes. That should be fine. Um, is in my so I have a types file, and this is the core schemas for the whole application, like really simple user schema. The card that's going to go on those boards or go on the list, like the lists and the relationships between them, and actually at the root level, this is the whole database schema for this project, and it's in this Prisma schema file. And you can either use the if you're like a solo dev, you could like use Prisma to just have the schema file reflect the changes in your database, or you can actually add tables here and push those to your database, like it supports migrations and all that. But really, what I like is that by using Prisma, you end up with your database documentation in your code, and then from there you can start using that as like a source for generating the Zod schemas and types, and then from there, like all the other um, pieces in the backend that you would need. So we have this Swagger documentation that is just set up as a route in this project and a page. And if we go to like this get boards and do like a test, it'll show a couple of these boards that myself as the logged in user has created. So you can generate this as like one more quick second. Is it like this is just a really simple, it uses Scalar and their Swagger docs UI, and like it's just this page, and it hits this API Swagger, which working backwards, we just generate this registry here from the Zod schemas, and then that creates the UI. So in that registry, then, sorry, working fully backwards, we have a registry where we import those Zod schemas that I was talking about. We can define the routes here, and from there, it creates that API documentation, which like it's kind of annoying because that's a couple extra steps. So you have your Prisma schema, and then you create Zod schemas, and then types off of that, and then you're creating this like route registry information. Um, and you do all of that to be able to get this nice documentation. It's really useful because then you have like a standardized type system and like you have end-to-end type safety, which is all really useful. It's really useful for the AI as well. If you're just a regular developer in the pre-AI days, that is annoying to code all of that out. The workflow I want to like walk through real quick is you can now, um, yeah. Sorry, I'm reading Connor's message. Basically, so it's context. Yeah, I totally get that, Connor. I can show something in that vein, um, which is the. Sorry, I lost my whole train of thought. Um, Yeah, so I just want to do a quick walkthrough of the workflow that I use for like adding a new model in the Prisma schema or in Supabase, and then generating all of those additional pieces with AI and just like some saved prompts. So that way you get all this nice end-to-end type safety and like really nice developer experience without having to write that code yourself. And so it's like AI is really good at the repetitive stuff, and this is a good workflow to just functionally automate. Um, so we can add a couple tables here. Like let's say we wanted to have this Kanban board also be able to track your habits. Like you want to make it a habit tracking app too. What I do is I have a bunch of snippets saved in Raycast. So Raycast is a really neat Mac app, and you can store snippets. So I have like a quick git
Oh wow,
commit, some other stuff, little console log.
it's pretty cool.
But I have this instructions on how to create a new Prisma model, and I can just insert that as a snippet then, and then Command K over that. So now I have instructions directly in the file that I want to edit, and I can just say add. This is where we do voice transcriptors again. Add two new models, one called habit and then one called habit entries. For both of them, give them just an ID that's a UUID. For habit, just give it a name and a created at date that auto populates. And for habit entries, do ID, a foreign key back to the habits model, and then a date of entry and an intensity, which will just be a number. And this kind of like workflow of prompt template and then transcription over for what you actually want is a really good way to get tons of context to the model, and it just generates exactly what you want. So we have that now and habit entry, and in Prisma, um, let me pull up the database. I wonder if I've already made these changes or not. And it'd be nice to show for.
You are so fast, dude. Like,
I was more or less practicing this before. I was trying to get it deployed, but I was failing too.
don't,
So
don't
this is just like the dummy app.
don't show us your keys. Okay, okay.
Yeah, we'll try not to. So I pushed these changes earlier, and I don't want to break something. So the other one thing you can do with Prisma, let's say I didn't want to create those models myself. I wanted to just create a table here. So let's do demo table, and it just says demo name. So we just created a new table in my database editor. This is in Railway. It's like the same for Supabase. Especially as a solo dev, this is a neat hack. We can get rid of this, and now we can do Bunex Prisma DB pull and Bunex Prisma generate, and it will pull the latest changes from the database into my schema file now. So we just have that we auto inserted the demo table there, and now we have the habit and habit entry. So we can just make the changes that we want to in the database through whatever UI we're using, and then pull those changes. This only works as if you're a solo dev, though. If you're in a team, then you can't really do that, and you have to go through the more formal migrations process, which Prisma is also great for. So once we've done this, we have these new models in here. We can then go to our types file because we want types for those as well. And the workflow is the same. Where let's pull up some Raycast snippets. In Zed, I was working with this earlier. Zed has a really nice option for pulling in prompts, and so you can just add the prompts directly in Zed. Like it's kind of the same. It's just you need somewhere to save your prompts. Um, let's do Prismazod. I should make this default commented out. So here again, and then we'll just say, I added the habit and habit entries model in the Prisma schema. Please make the appropriate Zod types or the Zod schemas and types for those. And then we can use cursor and reference the Prisma file the Prisma schema, which is the reason I like Prisma so much, is we have that just natively documented. Cool. So now we have like nice, easy to work with types. Prisma does provide types as well. I like translating them into the Zod schema here to make it easier for the data validation and for like generating the API docs. Not necessary. That's just a personal preference. Cool. So we have these now, and we could then go to a registry file and essentially do the same thing. Excuse me. Another snippet. This time we have this a API route registration template, and we can say, I just added schemas for habit and habit entries. Please create new routes for those. Create a route definition. Create a route for creating a habit, and then another one for listing the habits, and one for getting a habit by its ID. We'll just start there for simplicity right now, and then same thing, Command K. We can then do at our types and at if we wanted to. We don't have the routes defined yet, so we just do the types, or we can do the schema file as well if we wanted the reference there. But we'll leave that up for now. I don't think it's needed. And this is creating just the definition. So we'll see this in our Swagger docs now. We, of course, haven't created the route yet. It's a, we have to add the imports. You habit schema. And we're missing one more habit entry schema. That's funny. I didn't ask for the habit entries, but it pulled those in as well. Now, if we go back to our Swagger docs, we can refresh, and we should see new documentation for creating a habit, getting a list of habits. Let's see. Well, I'm not sure which one that's expecting. So that documents it. Of course, we don't actually have that defined in our routes here. So we make a new folder and do habit and make a route.ts in here. And of course, you know what's coming next, which is we can just grab another snippet and I'm sure we could probably make this all into a composer workflow too, but like a nice template for creating a route. Now we can reference the registry and say, I just added the habit and habit entry schemas or and definitions for these routes. Can you create the routes based on those? It probably doesn't even need to be that long of a prompt.
Did you see Connor's new message?
Doing inline editing. Yeah. Connor, I actually haven't used Composer at all yet. I keep meaning to, but I'm so used to this current workflow. I need to spend some time with it. I think like this, what I just walked through could probably all be like a single Composer prompt with just the right files, and then boom, like, you know, it would all be done in, you know, a couple of minutes instead of this more long-winded approach. So Composer looks good. I just haven't tried it yet.
Also, Replit looks pretty cool too. But I tried signing up right now. You have to pay $25. So I'm like, I don't know if I want to pay $25 to try it.
Yeah, I'm almost did. I was thinking about doing that in prep for today, but I spent more time with Zed instead. I want to try it. I think Replit's really cool, and I think they're well positioned for kind of dominating in this space.
Sweet.
Yeah. Okay, so this created a couple.
Go for it.
I just gotta fix this. Get a habit by its ID. Let's just delete some of that. Find many. I think that will list correctly. So yeah, let's give it a quick test. See. Oh, why? All right, this is where not fully paying attention is gonna make it a little bit harder. Body. No, it needs that data. I wonder why. No. All right. We should actually have the whole body definition in there, but it's not for some reason, and I'm not sure where I went wrong in the workflow. So like the next step here would just be to like, of course, make sure that this is cleaned up, make sure that the registry actually created the route definitions the way that I expected them to. I'm not 100% sure if it did or not. But that really covers a lot of the workflows that I use within Cursor, which is like if I do something repetitively, make a prompt template for it, and then from there, like prompt template, save that somewhere, either Raycast or where have you, use that template where needed, and then do voice transcription over that to get the rest of the context in. That's for anything that's more root or like memorized, and then for like regular editing, it's just a lot of Command K and some chat as needed. Yeah, this quick run through of a workflow I've been using.
Connor has even more stuff he's saying. Sorry, I don't know if you saw.
um, yeah, Connor, feel free. Yeah, feel free to DM me. Happy to provide any insight that I can. This whole workflow works really nicely off of Supabase. That's what I've been using for my um, like my actual main project right now. And I instead of using Next.js for the backend on that, I actually use an Alicia server, um, which runs on Bun. I really like it, and this has very nice built-in Swagger documentation, and it's like a little bit different of a workflow, but it works more crisply and provides better API definition.
It's a pretty website.
Yeah, yeah, it looks good. It's really fast too. It's like the whole ergonomic framework for humans. I think that makes sense. I definitely feel that way.
Jake,
Just by
Jake, I feel like you know a lot. Like, I don't know. What was I gonna say? I can share my screen quickly, and like I was gonna ask something at the end, but yeah,
yeah,
I don't have that much crazy stuff to go over, and like I think we're almost at time anyways. But I will. Oh, you stopped sharing, so now you have there's a giant screen of just you. So let's fix that.
oh shoot, I do not want that. I thought when you said you're gonna start sharing that, you're gonna swap it over.
Sorry, give me a second. This is where
Okay.
I need to get better at what do you call it? OBS, but I'll figure it out quickly. The only thing is,
Yeah. Well,
after cropping the screen, I now need to add your video back in here, which will take a second. Sorry about that.
yeah. Yeah, you go for it. I'm gonna see if I can fix whatever the issue here is for creating a new habit.
Do you mind not screen sharing, and then I'll
Yeah.
bring your camera in here. Sorry, thank you. Okay. Sorry, chat. Give us a second here. Hide self view. Okay, so we got Jake over here. You can see me, and then I will delete the other thing from this stream, and then go over my cursor workflows, and then also bring Jake in here. I don't know why Zoom is not keeping you floating, but I will figure that out. Yeah, I will do that in a second. But okay, so essentially, for my workflows with Cursor, I've been using Bash a lot recently, and that's my little secret. And I think Bash is like the best thing ever. I don't know why. Like maybe I'm like as a designer, I shouldn't say that. But I think Bash is really fun because you can get with Bash, you can get Cursor to sort of make instant changes to your repos. Like for example, I'm going to paste in this bash command, and it modified some of the files. I think there's a bit of an error, but this is my lazy cursor workflow. I just copy and paste. Whenever there's an issue, I just copy and paste, and it does it for me.
Yeah.
And then in this other tab, I just tried out Composer here. One thing I did notice with Composer is this is a weird UX quirk, sorry, but it looks like whenever you open a new window in Cursor, it doesn't have a folder automatically added, which makes sense. I don't think VS Code does that either. But it looks like you have to have a folder created to use the Composer feature. So I'm going to ask the Composer to make me a linear style app and then see what happens. And over here, I wanted to fix my math app, which is Bash. And look at that. I just pasted it in and I got an app. What's 15 divided by 3? I do not know the answer to that. So I'm going to go to Google actually for this. 15. Five. Is that? Oh, I'm really bad at math. For some reason, I thought it was a decimal thing. But anyways, I don't know why. I'm really bad at math. I clearly need this math helper app that I just built. But yeah, one of the cool things about Bash is you're able to just copy and paste, and it just works. So, or
Yeah.
not just works, but it can modify the code for you pretty quickly. So I'll just be like, okay, add some more complex math questions, and also when I finish a question, ask me another question. Also, make it multiple choice, and make sure there are at least 20 questions. Send Bash.
Dammy, real quick, could you also share your screen on Zoom by chance? If that doesn't, if it wouldn't fuck up the stream.
Yeah, I can do.
I just realized that I can't see what you're doing, and I'm watching it late, like delayed by like 30 seconds on the stream. I can't follow along.
Oh, that's a totally fair ask. No, 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 you're good. You should be able to see my screen.
Cool, nice. Thank you.
No worries, and I think now you're now floating on my computer now, so that fixed other things too. So, um, all right, so now it's got this massive bash code. Let's see, let's do a split screen in here, and well, bam, there you go. The window's a bit messed up, but let's see. 17 divided minus 3 is 14. Cool. And then next question, 176 divided by 22. Okay, 8.0. I love that point oh. I don't know what this means, but I'm just gonna take a guess. I'm probably gonna be wrong. Oh,
It's
okay.
square root.
I'm really bad at math. I don't know what this is, but this is
Wait, so
cool.
is that bash script like a way to, is that, are you saying that creates the little, the Mac app right there?
So this
Is
is
that it's a copy paste of the code?
yeah, this is Python, and like all Bash is doing is like with Bash you can do a lot of like
Huh.
concatenating or whatever else. Like this is just like writing stuff to my file.
Oh, so you're using it to actually like write. Oh, that's really cool.
I'm just being lazy.
Huh.
Like, I'm being really lazy.
Yeah, I like that though.
Oh, sorry, I just messed up my screen. Sorry, one second.
Huh. I need to think about like something that sometimes annoys me is like just creating a file. Like obviously you just go click the button. It's not a big deal, but like a quick little prompt and say, "Hey, create so and so files," and copy out a bash script. Like that'd be nice.
Oh yeah, no, exactly. Sorry, I think I literally messed up my screen. I don't know. Is the Zoom? Sorry, is the okay? Now it's back to being normal. Okay, cool. Sorry about that. No, exactly. I think the new thing I've unlocked with Bash, because this is actually related to a different project. So I have this like AI computer thing I'm building where I wanted to like control the computer and like do a bunch of stuff, and with that, I've just been using Bash to like essentially like get it to do things, and that's kind of like how I
Yeah.
discovered that, and yeah, it's really cool. Like I think like the fact that I built that app in like just a few minutes actually, and just yeah, didn't have to do anything else. I love Python. I love Bash. Weirdly enough, I don't like JavaScript anymore, which is
Have
weird.
you tried the new fast HTML at all?
Oh, we should do that. Jeremy did tweet about the new prompts. Um, so let's actually try that out quickly. So I haven't done it yet, but he did. He's been promoting. So Jeremy's a creator of Fast HTML,
Yeah.
and at some point he.
If you do the at Jeremy in there, it'll filter to just him. But I think you have to include the at,
Oh, thank you. I also
or
no,
it
no, I
should.
think
Oh, maybe not.
no, I think there is some sort of filter, but it is broken, and I don't. Okay, let me just try to find it
Yeah,
quickly.
Twitter search is honestly awful.
That's strange. Okay, so there is a specific prompt that he created for LLMs related to fast HTML. I'll just do it. So fast HTML prompts. Let's see. Thanks to Joe fast HTML. Okay. Interesting. I don't know where it is, which is strange. Um, Claude. Let's see. GitHub. It's called fast HTML, right?
Yeah.
I usually have everything bookmarked. Okay, well, let's just see if this works. Okay, so there's a replit demo, um, ready, fast HTML LLM ready context stuff. Okay, cool. So it looks like there are docs here. Okay, so let's try. So let's just copy and paste this entire README and then see if it's helpful.
And have you tried like at referencing docs in Cursor yet?
I do. I have used that before. I have found that there is sometimes where it doesn't download it properly, or like it will infer a
Yeah,
URL to download it. So I like to explicitly just give it the information. I find
that
sometimes
makes
that's even
sense.
better. I don't know. That's my opinion. Not better, but yeah, I found that explicitly giving it the file, even if you type in add file, I think it doesn't do it properly. Strangely enough, I think like it's better to actually give it the full code. I don't know how to explain that, but yeah. So I'm going to go open this folder and then reopen this. Actually, let's try it with Composer and with the other thing too. So make me a simple math app to learn math using fast HTML docs here. I also like making typos to
Yeah,
LLMs because I feel like they just don't even know.
they really don't.
I'm like, they don't know what a typo is. Okay, so now I'm gonna do a new folder, fast HTML, command Y, or yeah, I think it's Y. I don't know. And I'll copy the exact same prompt. So, oops, maybe it's better to just type it. Okay, make me simple math that's learn math using fast HTML docs. Okay.
Oh wow, it actually looks pretty good.
Okay, cool. So pasted those both. I think one thing I do find interesting about this UI is like the, it's kind of scary, but I'll just press accept. It could be my color theme. Okay, so how do I run the file? Send bash for it. No comments. Sorry, I'm just maybe asking for bash always. So it looks like in here it wants me to create a new file. It doesn't tell. Okay, this file is going to be called main.py. And then in here, it wants me to install these dependencies, which are, I don't think pip was going to work right away. Let's see. Oh, it does work. Okay, cool. So that is installed, and then I just need to run the app.
Do you use virtual environments or no?
I do for like bigger projects, yeah. So
Yeah.
it looks like something happened, but let's see. Client say HTTPS. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so that's one error here, and then in here, oh, I just have to run this command to run the app. Yeah, I saw some errors, but let's see. That's already taken. So this is one thing I need to learn better in Python. I'm gonna try command K. Let's see. Okay, I actually I'll just give it the error.
Yeah, you just say change the port.
I've never used command K, but I guess we'll try it out.
Wait, really?
I just I don't know, man. I don't feel comfortable, but it's fine. Okay, cool. It looks like it worked. Maybe I was just scared for no reason. Math learning app. Enter your answer. Okay. So it made an app for me. I think it's using fast HTML. Looks like there's some sort of HTTP issue with this. But yeah. Anyways, that's kind of like my only secret is use Bash. I would say, and then I did see this Superbase thing earlier today as well. So Superbase created this new prompt folder, and in the prompt folder, if I go into this folder here, view file,
Yeah.
I think this might be useful for other people. These are LLM prompts for specific types of ways to work with Superbase. So I'll include this in the comments as well if anyone finds it useful. But let's see. Oh, that's funny. Yeah, I'll send it. Maybe Connor can look at this after. But yeah, I think like in here, it's cool because it does include all of the different kind of like nuances about Superbase and Postgres, I guess, or for Superbase, and then migrations as well. So I think this could be useful, and it's really cool that all these companies are creating like prompt guides to help
Yeah.
with like specific tasks. So that's really cool.
Yeah. Having the documentation live with the code is really nice.
Exactly. Yeah. No. And this is like I think just from like today. So yeah. Anyways, that's all my stuff. I feel like
Cool.
we talked
I
a
like
lot.
it. Got to start using some more bash.
Exactly.
Um,
So
yeah, I think that's a wrap for me too. I shared the most critical stuff that I had to share for today. At least I've been doing some tinkering with Zed as well. I don't know if Zed is quite at Cursor's UX level, but I'll probably be posting about that exploration slash maybe some friction points. Like if Zed seems really nice, I wish it was a little bit cleaner. Um, and I'm sure they'll get there. Of course, their AI features are still in early release, but maybe we'll have to jump on again or do something about Zed once it's a little bit more polished.
Amazing. Thank you, Jake, for being part of this, and also I think you basically spearheaded this, and I learned a lot from you too. So appreciate your
Uh,
time.
I appreciate yours. It was a ton of fun. Thank you for organizing and thanks for having me.
Yeah. See you later.
Cool. All right. Catch you later.